Greetings and salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be wrapping up all of the books that I read in February and also the TV shows and movies that I was just obsessed with. Hello, how are you? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? How are you? What are you guys reading? What are you up to? Today's video is going to be a little bit of like a media wrap up. To be completely honest, I have been in a little bit of a reading slump. I did not read a lot of books in the month of February, and truthfully, I haven't really read that many books this year, but it's fine. Everything's fine. It happens. I really am such a mood reader that sometimes I could read 10 books a week or one book a week. It really is a toss-up, and I don't really stress myself out on the numbers. So this is going to be just a casual video as I talk about what I've been reading, watching, and loving. So yeah, let's go ahead and wrap things up. We'll start off with books. I read 4 books in the month of February, which is like the least amount of books I've read in months, but February is a very, very busy month for me. It's my mom's birthday, my dad's birthday, my younger sister's birthday, her godmother's birthday, my parents' anniversary, just so much back to my grandmother's birthday is in the first week of March. So just back to back to back to back events and things. I am an introvert, and I feel like fellow introverts can totally understand this when your social battery is dead and you just want to be like a little gremlin, but you can't because you have all these plans, right? I feel like that's been me since November. Literally every single weekend since November, we have had events or birthdays to attend. So I am ready to just like be a hermit in my bed under the covers reading some books. But that is why I didn't read a lot in February. You guys really didn't need to know that. I just feel like chatting with you guys. I think because I didn't read a lot of books this month that this video would be short. No, ma'am. I'm a yapper. I love to yap. We're gonna start off with the books, and I will wrap up the 4 books that I read in the month of February. I had 4 books that I read, not including a reread. I did end up rereading The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. You guys know that my goal this year is to kind of make my way through the Cosmere and read most of Brandon Sanderson's backlist. I've already read The Final Empire, but I just needed a little bit of refresher. When I read it the first time, it was 5 stars. This reread, it was 5 stars, and I really was just kind of like going through it, kind of refreshing it so I can finish the series this month. But other than that reread being a 5 star again, that was really the only 5 star that we had in the month of February. Other than that, I had 3 3 stars and 1 4 star. So let's go ahead and wrap that up. Guess I'll go ahead and start with a 4 star. It was Shattered Innocence by Sarah Kate. This is a short, steamy novella. It's kind of a Cinderella retelling. It is poly with 2 girls and 1 guy. It's as if Cinderella found her prince, but also fell in love with one of her stepsisters. And I love that. I love that so much. In this book, our heroine lives with her stepmother, who is quite abusive. And although she is an adult, she doesn't have a lot of control because her stepmother is withholding her inheritance. She ends up kind of surviving in this house because of her other stepsister. 2 of them develop really strong feelings for each other and kind of help each other survive this abusive household. Novella kind of picks up when our main heroine is put into an auction to be sold as a virgin bride. Stepmother puts her into this auction kind of like as a humiliation tactic. However, her stepsister has a plan. Hero used to be in a relationship with the stepsister, and he definitely cares about her a lot and doesn't want to see these 2 girls harmed. So he ends up making a bid to help them survive this abusive household. It was cute, it was short, it was steamy, it was everything I needed to be. I love poly romances. I love an auction vibe. Something about that is just like so fun and camp to me. So I gave this one 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I know this novella is in a series in collaboration with other authors, and they kind of have similar themes, so I definitely want to check those out as well. The next book I read, I gave 3 stars, and it was a paranormal why choose romance called Greer's Change by Gillian West. Although I gave it 3 stars, it's like a high 3 stars because I love Gillian West. Her books are just so fun. I eat them up like candy. She writes a lot of paranormal romances, Omegaverse romances. They're typically always either wide choose or poly, and there's something about her writing style that is just so easy to read. Greer's Change is a wide choose, a vampire romance. Our heroine is a siren, and she ends up getting changed into a vampire by her abusive ex-boyfriend. It is quite illegal for vampires to change other supernatural creatures because it's extremely dangerous, and and the venom can essentially kill them. Heroine ends up going to another paranormal community and living in her grandmother's house and trying to learn how to be a vampire and make it through the change, but she's struggling. And luckily she ends up finding our 3 heroes, and they kind of help her transition into a vampire. One of our heroes is a vampire, one of our heroes is fae, and then the other is an incubus demon. They also all own like a sex BDSM club, so it's very sexy, very fun. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was a really fun read. I will read anything Jillian West comes out with. Again, there's something about her writing that I could just eat up with a spoon. I sit down in one sitting, I finish it. It's just so much fun. It's campy. It's not too serious. They're fun paranormal why choose romances. Like, what else could I want? So yeah, definitely love Jillian West, and I have been slowly making my way through her backlist. The next book I read, I also gave 3.5 stars, but like totally different vibes because it's a historical romance, and this one is An Improper Proposal by Patricia Cabot. This was our Historical Hellions book pick. I do have a book club called The Historical Hellions. I host it with my dear friends Christy from Christy Reads a Lot and Jessica from Peace Love Books. Every single month we read a historical romance published before the year 2000, and this was our February pick. This one was fun. It was a pirate romance. Our heroine is kind of the princess of a shipping company. Her father and her brothers all own this really large shipping company. She's always grown up on boats, and this has just been her life. Definitely wants to be in the family business and run her own ship one day, but her older brothers and her father decide that they want to make her a proper lady, and they want her to be a part of society, and they don't want her to be a part of the shipping company at all. And she's like, what the heck? Like, this is my life. And she has also grown up kind of like crushing after her brother's best friend. He's a little bit older than her, and he is also engaged to a woman that is completely like not the right one for him. Our heroine knows they're not a good match whatsoever, and it ends up following their romance. It was good, but I don't know why I haven't been in a historical romance mood recently. I think it has to do with the fact that I've been in a reading slump, so I feel like maybe I would have enjoyed this a little bit more if I wasn't in a reading slump, but it was still good nonetheless. And then the last book I read, I also gave a 3-star, and that was Adrift in Currents Clean and Clear by Shauna McGuire. This is the 10th or 11th book in the Wayward Children series. The Wayward Children series is one of my favorite series ever. Shauna McGuire comes out with a new installment of it every single January, so obviously I had to read the new release. This I would describe as like a portal fantasy. It basically exists in a world where doors to other universes exist, and children are drawn to these doors based on their personality, and it follows different storylines of them discovering these worlds and discovering these doors because they're so magical and so different. And the series alternate between taking place in these magical universes and then also taking place in the real world. So this one is a portal fantasy one. It does take place in a magical universe. This book starts off by following our heroine who lives in Russia, and her mother really did not want to be a mom, so she ends up giving her up to an orphanage where she spends a lot of her childhood. She's definitely having a tough time getting adopted in Russia because she is disabled. She's missing part of her arm, and a lot of people kind of like see that as a disadvantage for her. Heroine does not see it that way for herself because she was born this way, and she's like, this is who I am, and I can't miss something that I don't have. The story really picks up when our heroine is adopted from the orphanage in Russia by a family in America. Very abruptly take her back to America and try to change every piece of her personality. The only place that she finds comfort in is by a lake by her house because she loves to see the turtles by her house. So one day she is at the lake and she falls into a door, and it takes her into this underwater universe. Water itself is magic. Humans can breathe under it. There are turtles that are big as the sky, frogs that are as big as houses. I love every book in this series, and I will continue to read this series, and I hope that Shauna McGuire continues to write in it like endlessly. However, this definitely wasn't my favorite installment. This one was a little bit more slow moving, and I wish it kind of delved into the magic a little bit more. If I had to pick favorites in the series, it would probably be Down Among the Sticks and Stones or Lost in the Moment and Found. Those are probably my 2 favorites. But again, I love every installment. I'll continue to read every installment as they come out, and I also love the audiobooks. I think they're great audiobooks. yeah, I gave this one 3.5 stars. All right. Those are all of the books that I read and loved in the month of February. Let's go ahead and talk about some shows and movies that I was loving. Movies that I watched in February, obviously, I watched Captain America. Okay. Let me tell you my full thoughts on Captain America. Marvel movies are something that me and my dad love. It's kind of our thing. We always go and see like the new releases together, and it's been that way since I was like in junior high. We never see it with anyone else. It's always like our thing. And I love Anthony Mackie. Okay, I feel like he can do no wrong. I love him in every movie that I've watched him in, and I'm so happy he's Captain America. I think he does such a brilliant job. I also love the actor that is kind of like picking up the Falcon mantle. The storyline, it wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't my favorite. It kind of felt like a filler movie because it was bridging the gap of a lot of other movies and references that we needed just pieced together. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't my favorite. But I love Anthony Mackie, so like, it was still a fun time. Another movie that I watched was Paddington in Peru. I love Paddington. Have to support my Latino king. So much fun. I think the whole Paddington franchise is so adorable, and tell me why I was crying, fucking crying when I was watching this movie. It was probably like my favorite movie I've watched in a really long time. It was so freaking good. Paddington, having me in tears. Shows that I've been obsessed with, Traitors. Oh my god, that is such a fun show, you guys. So it's essentially like a game of Clue and Mafia. I don't know if you guys ever played Mafia when you were a kid. It's a bunch of celebrity reality TV stars. They're all kind of like put into the Scottish mansion, and some of them are labeled as the traitors, and every night a faithful is killed, and the people who are not the traitors, the faithfuls, they need to figure out who the traitors are. So it's like a game of Clue. It's drama, it's camp, it's fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm sad it's over. It was just like a really fun thing to like watch while I was like clacking on the computer at work. So yeah, loved that. And that led into my obsession, my hyperfixation, if you will, this month. So when I was watching The Traitors, there was 4 or maybe 3. No, I think 4 Survivor contestants. I did not really know that much about Survivor. I know it's a show that's popular and been around for like, I don't know, 100 years. But in The Traitors, there's this guy named Boston Rob on the show. And when he came up, everyone was like, oh my god, it's Boston Rob. He's amazing. Like all of these things. And I'm like, who is this man? I need to know. So then I went on the Boston Rob lore and ended up watching his seasons of Survivor, specifically the one that he won. I love this man. I love this man. I fully, entirely, completely had a crush on Boston Rob. And then I ended up watching like a bunch of episodes and seasons of Survivor, and it has been my full hyperfixation. And it's hilarious because a lot of these seasons came out like decades ago, and I'm just watching them. But it's so much fun. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's wrap it up with what I've been listening to. Honestly, I've been in a Broadway mood. Broadway. The Wicked soundtrack on repeat literally since the movie came out. Love it. The performance at the Oscars was beautiful. I've just been listening to the Wicked soundtrack on repeat, but I've really been listening to the Epic the Musical soundtrack. It is a concept musical that is surrounded by retelling the story of the Odyssey and Odysseus making his way back home to Ithaca, Greek mythology. So good. So good, so good. I love everything Greek mythology and like Greek retellings. I really do. But Epic the Musical, every single song is a banger. Every single one. I love it. Cannot stop listening to it. Cannot stop watching TikToks about it. So yeah, that is it. That is my February wrap up. Thank you guys for sitting here and chatting with me while I just yapped. So if you stayed this long and you enjoyed this video, leave me an emoji. What emoji should you leave me? Leave me the fire emoji for Survivor, since that has been my hyperfixation for February. Leave me the fire emoji, and I'll know that we're bookish besties. As always, thank you for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Love you!